We're going to jump into this simple website and some of the CSS styling that we do with it. So this is the website right here. We define some CSS things within these style brackets. We have an ID selector right here, and we have a class selector right here. We see that we do some different padding for both of these objects. For the section, we do a 20-point padding bottom, and for the container, we do a just general 20-point padding. And we'll see how that works in a little bit. And then we define a couple of these guys here. We have light, which uses a light gray color, small, which is a small font, dark, which uses the bold weight, and then big, which is just a text size or a font size of 24 pixels. And so then we'll get kind of into the actual body of this. So this is the body. This is the content of the website. And then we can see right here, we have a container, and that's what we defined up here. And this container has the overall padding of 20 pixels. And so we can look at that and we can see all around that is that 20 pixel padding. Within this container, we have three different sections. We can kind of consolidate a little bit right here, three different sections. This first section is kind of the general invitation. The second section is some details about the invitation, and this is a request to RSVP. We can jump into each of these. Within it, we have a couple different things going on. We use different text classes, and so we do the light small for this first bit, and we can see that reflected right here. We do the dark big for this part right here, and then we also do the light small again over here. We have a couple different breaks in here to separate up the text. And then very similar in the section here. Again, we have a couple different classes, the dark small, light small. Right here, we do that with the span class. And then additionally, this last bit here, we have a dark small. And so we can close out of all of this. I'll get this consolidated a little bit, and we can jump into the actual CSS styling. So right here, we'll start with the container, which is this overall object that kind of represents this specific structure. And we can uncheck this box, and that is actually going to remove the padding. Recall this isn't the bottom padding, this is the general padding, and so it's this kind of rectangular shape that goes around that. So we can uncheck and we can check that and see what that does. Additionally, we can jump into the sections themselves and we can look at the padding bottom. And that makes it so that the text has no padding between each of those sections. And so all of this ends up being really tightly packed and close to each other. Again, this looks a lot better, and that's why we use the CSS styling. We can also modify, some of these font sizes. So right here, I'm modifying this dark big, where we are modifying this Robert and Alexandra selectable after dinner party. And we can uncheck that, and that'll make it the default text size as opposed to the 24 pixels. And then we can also uncheck the dark, which changes the bold, so that gets rid of all of that. Again, we could kind of do some more of that as well, right? Where regardless of where we check, as long as those are the classes we're using, that'll be what's modified in the CSS. Um, Yeah, and I think that's about it. So this is just the basic website with a little bit of basic CSS action going on.